Hello and welcome everyone to PW Only IAS English channel. So we are continuing with the Udaan free series for Prelims 2025. The objective of this PW Only IAS Udaan series is to help you score 110 plus marks in Prelims 2025. Under this series, first of all, we are covering Indian polity, the basic details as well as the current affairs for you to ace Prelims 2025 Indian polity section. Now today's topic is Union and its territories, or states and union territories. Now without much ado, we'll jump into the lecture. A brief information about where the PDF is going to be shared. This is my official Telegram channel, Jatin Verma Sir, PW Only IS. The complete name is Jatin Verma Sir, so as to add emphasis on Sir, so that when you are searching, you do not end up searching for it unnecessarily. So type the correct name, or you can scan the QR code, or in the description box of this video itself you have been provided the link to directly subscribe to this Telegram channel. PDF, the polity questions, current affairs questions and daily current affair PDF, etc. All the information about the lectures that I am taking on the Indian polity on PWIS, be it Indian polity, be it current affairs and some sections of Indian economy, etc. So all that information will be shared on this Telegram channel. Now let's jump into the agenda for the class today. Let's have a quick look at the question. Even though an old question of 2001, still basic factual information even to this day, even in the contemporary era of UPSC Prelims, is warranted. These same questions can be framed into a statement which will look more complex and more tough. So be thorough with the factual details. If a new state is to be carved out, which one of the following schedules of the constitution must be amended? So this is the question. Now uh, schedules of the constitution needs to be amended, but the moot question, the other way of looking at this question is, will the creation of new state be at all considered as an amendment to the constitution? This is my question to you. Now moving further, which one of the following schedules of Indian constitution lists the name of the states and specifies their territories? Which is the schedule? Answer is but obvious, but let's study the topic further. Now, articles 1 to 4 is the agenda for the class today. Okay, even though these articles prima facie seem to be very simple. Article 1 says India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. Why India, that is Bharat, has been chosen? Can be the why can be framed into a question, because there was no consensus in the Constituent Assembly whether the name of India should be modern India or it should be traditional Bharat. So that is why the reconciliation of the two thoughts was brought about in a manner that we wrote in the article 1, India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. Okay, now territory of India, article 1 of Constitution of India defines India as a union of states. The territory is described as union, although the constitution is federal in nature, federal in structure, union list, state list, concurrent list, independent judiciary, etc., etc. Okay, then why is it that we are a union? Because we are an indestructible union of destructible states. States, even though federal constituents of India, but they have no right to secede from India. Okay, now the phrase union of states has been preferred to the federation of states because there was no common agreement as in the US. We all know this. Quickly we'll revise through things. Okay, I'll just focus on the things that are very important for you. Now the federation is a union because it is indestructible. States cannot cede away from the union, be it Khalistan movement, with due respect to the sentiments of Punjabis, be it the movements in the northeastern India, National Socialist Council of Nagaland, etc. So that thing needs to be taken care of. Okay, although for the convenience of administration, the country and people can be divided into different states. The country is an integral whole. That is why the word union. As per Article 1, the territory of India can be classified into the following three categories: territories of states, union territories, territories that may be acquired by the government of India at any point in time. So we, like other international nations, like the nations theory, can acquire other territories. Okay, constitution permits that insofar as article scope of article 1 is concerned. Okay, into three categories states may be divided. The territory of India is wider expression than union of India. Territory of India is wider than the expression Union of India, because Union of India includes only states which enjoy the status of being members of the federal system and share the distribution of powers with the Union. Whereas the territory of India includes not only the states but also the union territories, because they are the territories of Union Government, Chandigarh, etc., Andaman and Nicobar, and other territories that may be acquired at a future date. Maybe tomorrow we acquire Balochistan region of Pakistan, or the whole of Pakistan, maybe, right? So these dreams seem realistic when we are in the Modi era, and that is in a kind of plausible situation that could arise. Now, first, the names of states and union territories and their territorial extent are mentioned in the names of state and union territories and their territorial extent. So two things are mentioned: name plus territorial extent of the states. Make notes in this manner. At present there are 28 states plus union territories, 8 union territories now. Okay, now the provisions of the constitution pertaining to the states are applicable to all the states in the same manner. Now there is no distinction. Okay, Jammu and Kashmir was the only state earlier which had its own constitution. No longer the scenario now. Part 21, however, the special provisions under Part 21. Now, guys, this area deserves a lot of attention. Why? Because Article 371, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, so those articles are important because that has been the area of interest for UPSC in the last few years. If we see it through the prism of preliminary examination, the CSAT paper 1. Okay, however, the special provisions under Part 21 applicable to the states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Nagaland, Assam, Manipur, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Sikkim, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, and Karnataka override the general provisions. Some SC/ST areas are there, some extra autonomy has been given. Okay, so those things are there. Now, fifth and sixth schedule areas, again, scheduled and tribal areas, special provisions have been carved out for these states also, for these scheduled areas also. So these are the exceptions. In general, the states, the provisions of the constitution related to states are applicable in the similar manner in general, more or less, right? Now, being a sovereign state, India can acquire foreign territory according to internationally recognized modes of acquisition or annexation or whatever. Okay, but internationally United Nations does not permit it. But we see the scenario: Israel, Palestine, Russia, Ukraine, various countries have at various points of time incorporated. Now, what is Donald Trump saying these days? Okay, now Panama would be of US, Canada, he might acquire Greenland, those kind of things. Okay, now India can, by following a treaty peacefully, even though we are a country which preaches world is a family, so there are peaceful options also, signing a treaty as we have done with the state of Goa, Junagadh, Hyderabad, etc., Sikkim. Purchase, gift, lease, or plebiscite occupation hitherto unoccupied by a recognized ruler or a nation state. Conquest or subjugation. Conquest or subjugation are the last options that India might consider. Now, these are hypothetical situations only. Moving further, guys, we are focusing only on the prelims oriented content. Article 2 empowers the parliament to admit into the Union of India or establish. So, two items are there: power to admit into the Union of India some new state, some new territory. Second, the power to establish new states out of the existing states. Okay, the first refers to the admission of states which are already in existence, while the second refers to the establishment of the states which were not in existence before. Okay, notably, Article 2 relates to admission or establishment of new states that are not a part of the Union of India. So you have to focus on this, that are not a part of India also could be imagined under the scope of Article 2, right? Now, Article 3 refers to the formation of or changes in the existing states. Article 2 basically is talking about the new states. Article 3 is talking about existing states of the Union of India. In other words, if UP were to be divided into 4 parts, it is possible under Article 3. Okay, so Article 3 deals with internal readjustment, inter se. For example, carving out Telangana out of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, then likewise Jharkhand out of Bihar, We have carved out in we had carved out 3 states in the year 2000. Parliament's power in this regard. Here we are not talking much about the parliament. Why? Because using the broad scope of Article 1, Article 2 simply says by executive action, war, subjugation, etc., the Union Executive can admit into the territory of India any new state, any new territory which was earlier not a part of the Union of India, territory of India. Okay. Now, Article 3 is focusing more on the parliament. Why? Because of the rights of the federal state, which is going to be changed or altered in its name, character, or geographical territory. Okay, so since federal states, why? That is why, since it is internal reorganization, that is why the word parliament comes into picture. Whether approval of parliament is needed, yes. In what form is it needed? What is going to be the mode of consultation with the concerned federal state, which is going to be modified in its name or area? Okay, now Article 3 authorizes the Parliament to form a new state by separation of territory from any existing state, or by uniting two or more states or parts, or by uniting any territory to be a part of any state. B. Increase the area of any state. C. Diminish the area of any state. Increase the area of any state, decrease the area of any state, then alter the boundaries of any state, changing the boundary. Okay, in India, the boundaries of states are like this, haphazard. Okay, these type of boundaries. But in some countries, USA, Canada, etc., you see boundaries are very well like scale, line of scale. Okay, this is how they fit into each other. But in India, boundaries are more like jigsaw puzzle. So now, if the name of the state needs to be changed, state cannot change its own name. Odisha, name has to be changed by the parliament only. Odisha legislature can pass a resolution Orissa to Odisha. Okay. So name of a city like Bengaluru can be changed by the State Legislative Assembly of Karnataka. But if the name of the Karnataka needs to be changed, then it is under Article 3, the approval of the parliament would be needed. Got it? Article 3 lays down two conditions in this regard. Number 1, prior recommendation of the President on the bill. Before introducing such a bill in the Parliament, prior recommendation of the President is necessary. Those of you who have a tendency to fall asleep while revising, again, Parliament, in order to consider such a bill or in order to introduce such a bill, which ministry will introduce such a bill? Ministry of Home Affairs. Before bringing about such a bill, that bill needs to be considered by the President of India. It has to be recommended that yes, President, the head of the Union, even though the nominal head of the Union, recommends this bill to be considered. Okay, so before doing this, before recommending the bill, the President has to refer the same to the state legislature concerned for expressing its views within a specified period. Now, Ministry of Home Affairs sends the bill to the President on, let's say, 1st of February. Okay. President, before signing it, at 12 noon on 1st of February, marks a copy of bill to the governor of, let's say, Andhra Pradesh or Uttar Pradesh, to be divided into 4 parts. Then governor will convene a session or not. That is, governor will convene a session of the state legislature of Uttar Pradesh on the same day. If the president has written that latest by 3rd of February, that bill needs to be returned. Okay, that bill needs to be returned to the president by 3rd of the president, considered by the state legislature. Now, at a short notice, the session will be convened for the State Legislative Assembly of Uttar Pradesh. Does President have to wait till 3rd February? No. Even when the consultation of the state legislature is pending, consultation of the bill reorganizing that particular state is still pending. President can recommend the bill and bill will be introduced in the Lok Sabha on 2nd of February, even though the copy of the bill which was sent for consultation with the state legislative assembly, hasn't yet come back. It is not yet back. Okay. President not bound by the state's advice. The president or parliament is not bound by the views of the state legislature. If the state legislative assembly of Andhra Pradesh, while reorganization of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh State Reorganization Act 2014, when it was sent to the state of Andhra Pradesh said, we are not in favor. Pranab Mukherjee, the then president, said, doesn't matter to me. That means even though the state legislative assembly differs from the bill, then also president or government of India need not bother about it. It's just a token formality that the bill needs to be merely sent to the state legislative assembly. Mere sending of bill, even though the date on which the bill has to be sent back to the president hasn't yet passed, still the president can recommend the bill and the bill can be passed through the Parliament of India. It's like that. To draw a rough analogy, very remote analogy, UPSC has just now revealed it came up with its notification. It released its notification. Now the last date for filling up of the exam is 11th of February. Okay. But if you get to know tomorrow that exam has been conducted on 3rd of February, you as aspirants cannot do anything. You are mere aspirants and there are 10 lakhs like you, 10 lakh plus aspirants like you, at least 5-6 lakhs who are going to appear. So you don't matter at all. That means if UPSC says you can keep on filling the form till later date, till the last date, we are conducting the exam. It's like that here. That is why India is an indestructible union of destructible states. That is why Granville Austin and other scholars, other luminaries on Indian constitution have said so. Okay, president is not bound by the state advice. President is not bound by the views of the state legislature and may either accept or reject them even if the views are received in time. Further, it is not necessary to make a fresh reference to the state legislature every time the bill is changed or amended. For example, in the first proposal of Uttar Pradesh reorganization bill, for example, a new bill comes in which it is initially said that Uttar Pradesh will be divided into 1, 2, and 3. 3 states. Okay, total after partition, after division. Now, this bill has been sent to Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly, to the Speaker of Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly. But they have sent back the bill, rejecting it, and a new bill by the Ministry of Home Affairs Union comes and says the state will be divided into 4 parts, 4 new states. Does the copy of the new bill need to be sent to the state legislative assembly? Because now the proposal says 4. No. The old bill, they will approve or disapprove the old bill even as the new version with changes, significant changes has been brought about. Guys, why am I saying significant changes? Because UPSC is using these words of degree, minor changes, significant changes, okay, drastic changes, right? Let me give an example. GDP of India has been growing exponentially, drastically in the last 10 years. Now, these words of magnitude are being played with. If here, if the question comes that president needs to send the copy of the state reorganization bill only if there are significant changes, major changes in the bill sent earlier. No. Only if there are, president need not send the copy of the bill if there are minor changes. No. President need not send the bill at all, the new bill at all. New version of the bill need not be sent if the version of the old bill has been sent already. This is the tricky area where many candidates get stuck in understanding Article 3. Okay. Further, the power of Parliament to form new states includes the power to form a new state or union territory like we did with Jammu and Kashmir. By uniting a part of any state or union territory to any other state or union territory. Uniting a part of state to union territory. Okay, Chandigarh was carved out like this. Okay, now Jammu and Kashmir recently. Now, in case of a union territory, no reference need to be made to the concerned legislature. For example, if it is National Capital Territory of Delhi, does the parliament need to send the bill to the legislature of Delhi? No. It is the president's own territory. It is the union's own territory, the union territory. That is why the copy of the bill dividing, modifying, forming a new state out of the national capital territory also need not be sent. Done. It is thus clear that the constitution authorizes the parliament to form new states or alter the areas, boundaries or names of the existing states without their consent. They can alter the areas, boundaries or names of the existing states without their consent. Without their consent. Clear? Now, in other words, the preamble, the parliament can redraw the political map of India according to its own sweet will. Hence, the territorial integrity of India or continued existence, hence, the territorial integrity of a state or continued existence of a state is not guaranteed by the constitution. Okay, therefore, India is rightly described as an indestructible union of destructible states. When you chance upon, when you come across such very easily understandable or very familiar statements, do not try to read it fast. Do not try to gloss over it. Okay, I will read it till this point and will mark the bubble. Mark in the prelim final OMR sheet. No. Read the complete sentence, take a pause of 1-2 seconds, and then attempt. Because a destructible union of indestructible states looks very similar, looks rather identical, है ना? But you might end up losing 2 marks. So be very, very attentive. Article 4, moreover, the Constitution, Article 4 itself declares that laws made for the admission or establishment of new states under Article 2 and the formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries, or names of existing states under Article 3 are not to be considered as amendments. What is Article 4 saying in nutshell? Article 4 is saying Article 2, creation of new states, plus Article 3, whatever significant changes they bring about should not be considered as amendment to the Constitution. Okay, creation of new state will also not be considered as an amendment to the Constitution. Even though which schedule is being changed? Which schedule is getting changed? We saw in the first question. Please answer in the comment section. Okay. Article 3, alteration of the names of existing boundaries, etc. It is also not to be considered as an amendment to the Constitution. So most of them can be passed by a simple majority and by the ordinary legislative process of the Union Parliament only. State are sent this bill if the particular state in question is being modified or affected in any manner whatsoever. States will be sent the copy of the bill. States are not supposed to pass the bill. States are only supposed to pass the resolution approving or disapproving the bill. Okay. Berubari case, an interesting case. Does the right to form new states or does the right to alter the boundaries of existing states also include the right of, also includes the right to give away any part of Indian state to any other country? No. Okay, this was the question that came up before the Supreme Court in 1958, Berubari case. Does the power of the parliament to diminish the area of a state under Article 3 include also the power to cede Indian territory to a foreign country? No. Okay, the decision of the central government, let's go through this case. What was this case? The decision of the central government to give away a part of India to east, to west of West Bengal to Pakistan. Okay, So government of India said, we are giving away this part of India to Pakistan, and in return we are going to get some other part. So this case went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said no. Okay, why? A presidential reference was made to the Supreme Court under Article 143 for this Berubari case. The decision of the central government to cede the part of territory known as Berubari Union, West Bengal, to Pakistan led to political agitation. Therefore, this matter went to the Supreme Court on the basis of a presidential reference. The Supreme Court held that power of the parliament to diminish the area of the state under Article 3 does not cover secession of Indian territory to a foreign country. Secession of Indian territory to a foreign country. Hence, Indian territory can be ceded to a foreign state only by amending the constitution under Article 368. Consequently, the 9th Constitutional Amendment Act 1960 was enacted to transfer the said territory to Pakistan. Okay, so when the Supreme Court said that this act, this Article 3, Article 2 does not allow you to give away any part of India to Pakistan or for that matter any other country, then the government of India had to introduce a bill, 9th Constitutional Amendment Act, so as to enable the government of India to sign an agreement to actually give Berubari area of West Bengal to the Pakistan. Okay, otherwise the amendment is not needed when you are incorporating any foreign territory into India. Now, Supreme Court here in this case also mentioned that when you are settling the land boundary, which does not include major give and take of land on either of the sides. Okay, land boundary does not require amendment. Settlement of land boundary between India and China, for example, this boundary question does not require amendment to the constitution. But if the boundary question, under the garb of boundary question, you are giving the land on the side of India and you are incorporating the land on the side of China, even then also you will have to bring about a constitutional amendment act. Special majority will be required. Okay, under Article 368. Settlement of a boundary dispute does not require constitutional requirement. On the other hand, Supreme Court in 1969 ruled that settlement of a boundary dispute between India and another country does not require a constitutional amendment. It can be done by executive action. But I have given you another example. See, this is the boundary that needs to be settled. The land that China is giving to India is more. Let's say it is 100 acres. And land that India is giving to China is 70 acres. Since it involves the give and take of land, it cannot be assumed to be a mere question of settlement of boundary. Because boundary means, okay, 1 inch here and there, 1 square meter here and there, right? But you are involving hundreds of acres, even though you are in the net gaining land from China. This is just an example. China will not give an inch extra, right? So this is the example. Now the 100th Constitutional Amendment Act 2015. The 100th Constitutional Amendment Act was enacted to give effect to the acquisition of certain territories by India and transfer of certain other territories to Bangladesh in consonance with the agreement on land enclaves, wherein India gave away 111 such villages. Okay, and Bangladesh in return transferred 51 villages or enclaves to India. What are these enclaves? The Rajas before the British East India Company, or some of them during the tenure of British East India Company, they used to play the game of Shatranj. They used to play the game of Ludo or something, you can say. Okay, and while playing that game, they would bet on villages on either side of the border, India Bangladesh border. Okay, so if Bangladesh, if the Raja, if the king belonging to Bangladesh would lose the game to Raja or king belonging to India, the villages that he had put as bet, the villages that he had bet on would go to Indian king. So it so happened over a period of time that 111 such villages were on the Indian side, which belonged to, okay, Bangladesh. But these were on the Indian side of the West Bengal. And Bangladeshi side, there were such villages, 51 such villages, which belonged to India, but they were on the side of the Bangladesh. So India-Bangladesh Enclaves Agreement signed in 2013 between the Government of India and Government of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina government, Manmohan Singh government, they decided to exchange these enclaves. Okay, so just a background of it. They said that the villages that are on the side of India belonging to Bangladesh will be given to India, and villages belonging to India but geographically on the side of the Bangladesh, they will be given to Bangladesh, so that proper law and order administration could be carried out. Okay, the Indian Independence Act 1947, integration of princely states we are talking about. The India Independence Act 1947 created two independent and separate dominions of India and Pakistan and gave the states the three options, princely states, either join India or join Pakistan or remain independent. Out of the 552 states, 549 were convinced by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the first Home Minister of India. Okay, the three errant ones were Hyderabad, Junagadh, and Kashmir. Hyderabad, it agreed to surrender, it agreed to merge with the Union of India with police action. Okay, Junagadh by the means of referendum, and Kashmir by instrument of accession signed with Government of India and signed between the Government of India and Raja Hari Singh. Got it? Now, in 1950, the Constitution created four-fold classification of Indian Union: Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D. In all, they numbered 29. Part A, states comprised 9 erstwhile governors' provinces of British India. Part B, states consisted of 9 erstwhile princely states with legislature. Part B, states consisted of 9 erstwhile states, princely states with their own legislatures. Okay, these are governors provinces. Many people, they forget about this also. Part A, governors provinces. Part B, princely states with their legislature. Part C consisted of erstwhile chief commissioners states, chief commissioners provinces of British India, and some of the erstwhile princely states. These Part C states, all in all, they were 10 in number, were centrally administered, and Part D included only Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, so they were kept as a solitary Part D state. Now, with the successive commissions, etc., being appointed, what happened? Part A and Part B states were merged together at a later stage by 7th Reorganization, 7th Constitutional Amendment Act. The committee that was appointed, we are going to study that. 1956 was the year. Now, Linguistic Provinces Commission, Dhar Commission, and JVP Commission. Dhar Commission was when it was appointed in 1948. After many a times petitions were sent to the central government, to the Union Parliament, that states need to be carved out on the basis of language. Southern states, they said that what we call as Madras comprises of Madrasi speaking people, Telugu speaking people. So they cannot be clubbed together. Dhar Commission rightfully said that Dhar Commission appointed in 1948 after a lot of petitioning was received by petitioning from the people of the state, fasting unto death by the localites. Okay, so lot of pressure was there. 1948, the government appointed this commission, SK Dhar Commission, to examine the feasibility of this idea of carving out the states of India on the basis of language as the basis, right? The report was submitted in December 1948, and it was, he said that, recommended the organization of the states on the basis of administrative convenience rather than language as the guiding factor. So while carving out the states, language in a diverse country cannot be adopted as the basis. Okay, later on people were highly holding a lot of grudge against Dhar Commission. They were not happy, southern states. Another commission was appointed, this time headed politically by Jawaharlal Nehru, JVP, okay, Vallabhbhai Patel and Patrabhi Sitaramaiah, and hence this was known as JVP committee. The committee submitted its report in April 1949, and this committee also suggested that no, this idea is dangerous considering the unity and integrity of India. States should not be reorganized on the basis of language. In between, what happened? Government of India was forced to create a separate state of Andhra Pradesh, which was for which the language was the only basis. After Andhra Pradesh was carved out, it was as if a Pandora's box has opened. A box full of honeybees have been, it's like hitting the hornet's nest. Okay, so a lot of demand started arising, and finally Fazal Ali Commission 1955 had to be appointed. It was a 3-member commission. Other members were KM Panikar and HN Kunzru. Okay, so Fazal Ali Commission was told to re-examine this issue, and they said okay, states can be carved out, but this idea should not be considered that one language one state. For every language we cannot have a state, because in India, we have more than 5,000, 6,000 known languages. And then the debate will start, okay, for every dialect, there will be a state. Then every town that you see will be a separate state in itself. है ना? So that is why this idea was patently said that in principle, administration should be the basis as a one-time affair. 1956, this demand was allowed. Ultimately, they said that you can have maximum 16 states. Okay, now it identified 4 major factors that can be taken into account in any scheme of reorganization. Number 1, preservation and strengthening of the unity and security of India. Strengthening of unity, strengthening of unity. Unity means brotherhood, fraternity. Then second, linguistic and cultural homogeneity. All the area where there is, if not linguistic, even if there is cultural similarity, homogeneity, that area should be encompassed under one state, so as not to have many states. Third, financial, economic and administrative considerations. Creating too many states which are not financially viable, so many chief ministers, so many bungalows, so many vehicles, state secretariats, so many high courts, will not be a financially good idea for a young democracy. Fourth, and not the last, planning and promotion of the welfare of the people in each state as well as of the nation as a whole. So these 4 points are important for prelims. Yes, preservation and strengthening of India's unity and security. Okay, starting with this linguistic and cultural homogeneity. Then the commission suggested the abolition of fourfold classification. So part A, B, C, D, they said should be abolished. And it suggested creation of 16 states and 3 union territories, what they earlier called as centrally administered territories. The government of India accepted these recommendations with certain minor modifications. 14 states were carved out. Okay, distinction between part A and part B states was done away with, not the entire part C and D. Okay, and part C states were abolished. Some of them were merged with the adjoining states, and some other were designated as union territories. As a result, 14 states and 6 UTs were created. However, the commission said that you can go up to 16 states, but government restricted it to 16 states and 6 UTs. 14 states and 6 UTs. Okay, November 1, 1956 is the day. It is called as the States Reorganization Day. In some states, it is celebrated as the foundation day of that state. Okay. Now, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, and Jharkhand. In the year 2000, 3 more. Now, I haven't dealt with that history of how Daman and Diu, how various Maharashtra, Bombay, okay, how they were carved out. We haven't dealt with that in this particular lecture, because that will be highly, highly factual. A handout will be shared on the Telegram channel for that thing. You can go through it. Okay, guys. Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, and Jharkhand were created out of the territories of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar, respectively. These became 26th, 27th, and 28th states of Indian Union, respectively. In 2014, Telangana, the new state of Telangana, came into existence with the passage of Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act. For the first 10 years, Telangana, the Hyderabad was supposed to be the joint capital, and after 10 years, in the meantime, it was supposed that Andhra Pradesh will be able to have its own capital. Okay, then separate high court, etc. Those things were envisaged. So Andhra Pradesh State Act of 1953 formed the first linguistic state of India, known as State of Andhra, by taking out the Telugu speaking areas from the state of Madras, now Tamil Nadu. Kurnool was the capital of Andhra Pradesh, and state high court was established at Guntur. Now, again, Andhra Pradesh, this brief history is given. Okay, so this was there in today's lecture. My focus for the conceptual clarity part would be, even though it's not a concept but a mere understanding, that is required for article 2 and 3. Okay, rest of it is factual. You have to memorize things. Which commission suggested the merger of part A, B, C, D? Okay, Fazal Ali Commission. Which commission ultimately suggested the creation of states on the basis of language? Fazal Ali Commission. Now, whenever the juncture would permit, whenever we would be at a juncture where we have comprehended, understood all these topics which are factually required to be understood for us to crack prelims, then what we'll do? We'll come up with the questions like, is there a need for second states reorganization commission? Okay, it's been a long time since we've had first. Is it a good idea to have second states reorganization commission? Okay, so these analytical topics someday we'll deal in the daily current affairs. Every day I've been dealing with the something new to enable you to have a holistic idea of the topic. Today we dealt with anti-defection law and another topic also, should governors be appointed as the chancellors of the states. Likewise, you can correlate that information with static in current with the static that we are studying in these classes of Udaan also. Even those of my friends, be it in the south or in the northeastern India or northern India, who are preparing for 2026, can also gain from these lectures. If you find anything tricky, like in the tomorrow's lecture, we will be dealing with citizenship, Article 5 to 11. Some of that element is very, very tricky for some people to be understood. So I'll try to make it easier for you, that you can correlate with Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, the debate that keeps on appearing in the newspaper. With this, I take your leave. See you tomorrow again around the same time. Thank you. Bye bye. Jai Hind, guys.